Do you ever just start a podcast but then forget to record the intro for it and you just do the entire podcast and you just kind of just jump into it? Anyway, this is A Little Too Quiet. It's the Ferndale Library podcast, and it's brought to you by the Friends of the Ferndale Library. I'm Jeff, and you'll be hearing from me very soon once we start the episode, which is about RPG. It's about some RPG programming that we do here in the Ferndale Library. And it's teasing a forthcoming episode in which we're going to be doing an RPG game live on the pod. The players will all be here, and it'll be very entertaining to listen to. Mary Graham will join me, and so will Aaron. And that's the formal introduction. Let's start the music. What's the Pathfinder stuff?
Okay, so like a couple of weeks ago, I was helping some friends move some boxes into their place of RPG stuff that they inherited from a friend. And there's a whole bunch of duplicate Pathfinder things. Pathfinder, Jeff, for you, and maybe also Mary Graham, is basically kind of like Dungeons and Dragons in terms of like tone and vibe, but has like a different rule set. It's a more, I would say it's slightly crunchier than at least the current version of D&D. The current version of D&D is very like interpretive, more open rules set. And this is like, there's a rule for everything, which can be really nice for some things and then make other things more challenging depending on your play style. But they donated a whole bunch of the adventure paths, which are basically the pre-written adventures that people can go and do. So we got like a whole bunch of those, and we also just got Daggerheart, which I'm really excited about.
Stabby stab. I know nothing about it, but it makes me go stabby stab.
So if you're familiar with Critical Role, either from their TV show that they've done, I think on Amazon Prime. Don't quote me on that. I think it's Amazon Prime though. Between that and they do a live play, real play podcast kind of element to it as well, which got turned into the show you see on TV. This group of people went and was like, D&D is not really meeting our needs and what we want out of like this experience. So they created their own system called Daggerheart, which just got released not terribly long ago. Like May or June. It was originally slated for May, but I think it got pushed back a little bit. And it's I'm just reading through the copy of the rules that we got now. It's being processed, but it's a very much a like more collaborative world building, very heavy on like improv and theater of the mind, and very, very much story focused.
Excellent.
I'm very excited about it. And it also has cards, which is kind of cool mechanic because you don't see that often. So I'm super excited for that.
And I'm super excited for Ferndale Library Teens because coming up in the fall, we are going to be starting a quarterly teen RPG group. So Erin runs our fantastic middle school RPG, which is every other week.
Yep, first and third Thursdays.
And I cannot currently commit my schedule to every other week.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, and you work very hard, and you have been doing this for a long time. But Erin is teaching me the ways of the game masters so that I can run one-shot RPG games about 4 times a year for the teens, because we are starting to have middle school RPG graduates, and we cannot leave them RPG-less.
No.
That would be a dereliction of our duty as a library.
It sure would, because the kids, before we came up with the idea of having this, and you volunteered your time and energies and efforts into having a teen one.
I just wanted to play with
very
the cool
sad.
dice.
It just all comes down to
I won't
the
lie.
dice.
The dice were a huge enticement. Also,
They go clickety-clackety.
They go clickety-clackety. It's so important. Also, we joke that we are a children's department. Well, no. that we are not a children's department, actually.
No, we're an
simply
improv group.
Masquerading. We're an improv group masquerading as a children's department. And therefore, our unofficial motto is yes, and. This is how we plan most of our programs. This is how all of the lore of the little woodland creatures who live in our seasonal decorations all came to be. And
it all came from one cardboard shark, and next thing you know.
What is RPG but a structured game of yes and?
That's a great question. You see, here's the interesting thing, because how we play it, that's exactly what it is. But did you know that RPGs originally evolved from war games, which were extremely structured and extremely not yes and?
I don't like war games, so I like the way that we do it.
Yeah.
I like that, you are handing me resources about games that have cool premises, most of them involving little creatures in situations. Put that creature in a situation. Sometimes that situation is group of creatures stacked in trench coat trying to pass as human.
We do love Totally Real Human Adult, just specifically because who hasn't wanted to be a whole bunch of silly creatures like a raccoon, a mongoose, and a crab all in a trench coat together?
Yeah.
And then there's like other ones where you get to be witches familiars out to get your revenge.
We are probably going to be doing that one first. We're probably either going to do The Witch is Dead, or there's another kind of spooky one.
Let's see, there's super cool space pirates. There's Honey Heist, where you're the criminal bears.
Yep, I've done that one. That one's fun.
We do love that one.
Yeah.
I've just so in a future pod episode, we're going to be playing Monster of the Week.
That's that's the spooky one we also might do.
I have gone and boiled it down into a one-page friendly version that I'm calling Monster Hunters.
Monster Hunters, brought to you by the one and only Erin.
That's right. But it's basically just a dressed-down, simplified version of Monster of the Week.
You mean you Frankensteined it?
Frankenstein monstered it, Jeff. We have to be accurate here.
Or you did Frankenstein it because you did. Well, no, you did not do as Frankenstein did, because you did not abandon your creation.
No, that's true. I love my creation. I'm going to teach you to be a proper human and integrate into society flawlessly.
Yes, and become a beloved one-page RPG.
Exactly.
So definitely, if you're one of our RPG kids and you are becoming an RPG teen, if you are already a teen, if you would like to become an RPG teen, this is going to be, I'm really excited about this. I am stoked to learn new skills myself. It's one of the best parts of the job. I've got the best of the best teaching me.
This is an over-exaggeration, but I will take it.
Yeah. And it's just going to be a grand old time. And I really can't emphasize enough, the dice will be really cool.
Really clickety-clacky.
Our library dice are awesome.
Do you want to know what I like most about running a game as opposed to playing a game? Because it is a very different experience.
Do you get to throw more dice when you run a game?
Oddly, you throw less, which is kind of actually sad. In some games, like Monster of the Week, the person running throws 0 dice.
Can I fidget with extra dice?
You can fidget with the dice.
Cool.
But the cool thing is like, instead of just like being on this grand adventure and following whatever you want to do, you get to be the creator of like a world.
Yeah.
And like you get to, if you like to do like your own storytelling, it's really, really satisfying to like create and craft this loving story, just to have the characters that you have no control over running around inside of your story and seeing how they react and interact. Because like when an author writes a book, they don't really get to see the reactions of the readers, right?
Yeah.
You get to live time see how people like interact in or reacting to your story that you've created, which is just so neat.
And as someone who has been on the reaction side, because I've played Honey Heist with you, and sometimes the fun of an RPG is being a completely different kind of character than you are in real life. So, I have seen maps in my time that say, oh, this is the no-go zone. And when I'm playing an RPG, I'm like, can I go there though? I want to go there. If it says I can't go there, I must go there, which I truly cannot emphasize as the opposite of how I am in my corporeal human existence. If I see a sign that's like, keep out, I'm like, well, I guess we're going home for the night.
Respectful,
you know? Yeah. So it's also kind of a fun outlet to be like, what if I wanted to just pretend to be a different kind of person?
Yeah, no, I think it's a really great way. You get to like explore different things that in real life you can't really do so much. And like regular Aaron is not a violent monster. When I play RPGs, though, I really like hitting things with sticks.
Who doesn't?
Like a lot.
Yeah.
So it's a fun way to like go, and I can be reckless and dangerous. And I know, Jeff, don't be shocked. All things can be dangerous, and it's fine.
Sure.
And I think the reckless plot ends up being a more fun plot to follow than the cautious adventurer.
100%.
Because where has caution ever got you during an adventure?
Yeah.
You stay in the same room the whole time, trying to figure out what's wrong with the door that's just a door.
Yeah.
It's not trapped.
It's not,
But
no.
you'll spend an hour. So it's more fun just to be like, hey, I'm just going to do whatever, throw caution to the wind. So it's fun to be able to explore other parts of like
yourself
in that way.
I like to be the kind of person that's like, look over there, and then run in the other direction or do something kind of silly. So Erin, you and I are both Leverage fans, the television show. And for those of you who don't know Leverage, I promise this is relevant. Leverage is a TV show. There's also now like a revival called Leverage Redemption that is about criminals who are on the side of the good guys, but sometimes, as the tagline goes, bad guys are the only good guys you get, and they got to break a couple of laws in order to get justice.
Exactly.
And the sort of 5 people on the team, there's the hitter, the hacker, the grifter, the thief, and depending on if you're watching the old version or the new version, there's the mastermind. Or
so you have your bard, your rogue, your wizard, your
exactly
cleric, like the whole.
I love that when you're playing RPG, you're a hitter, and I enjoy being like a combination grifter thief. Look over there. Oh, look, I'm rappelling up the side of this building. Which again, I cannot emphasize how much in real life I am not jumping off of anything, no matter how many cables are tied to me.
If you had to pick one for real life, which would you classify
that's
yourself?
A great one. Probably grifter, because of like the social engineering involved. I feel like I could learn that the easiest. But I really like Noah Wiley's character on the revival often. So he's an ex-sleazy lawyer, but he often uses...
A reformed sleazy lawyer,
he often uses his sleazy lawyer persona to get a foot in the door or to make people think that he's on their side, and then he pulls a fast one. And actually, that's what I would want to be doing.
I would probably be... one of the characters, Sophie, is very much the face and very good at the con. But then when she tries to actually do acting, like theater acting,
she's so bad.
So bad and over the top. That would be me.
I love that. I love that so much.
But yeah, I think it's really fun that, you get to explore different kinds of personas whenever kind of game you're playing. Or like some of them, we've got this other really cool one that came into the library not too terribly long ago, where you're exploring a kind of semi-dead alien planet. And the whole purpose is exploration.
It's giving Murderbot.
It does, doesn't it? Maybe that's why I bought it a little bit. But
Thumbs up every other podcast.
It reminds, it should, Jeff.
Aaron's like, what do you mean it doesn't come up every podcast? We're slacking.
It should.
Everyone go read the Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells.
Thank you for that wonderful plug, Mary Graham. But yeah, it's kind of also like this other one called A Quiet Year, which is about building a civilization. Sometimes the role-playing groups mission is not so much about character growth or a specific task so much as it is about interacting with the world.
Poke it with a stick,
or even creating something new. And I think that's just it's really refreshing and nice. I think that RPGs are such a vast thing.
Yes, it's making me so happy just thinking about it. We're not even playing one right now, but I'm like, I want to sit around a table with friends or with people I'm not friends with yet, but I will become friends with, and explore this little imaginary world that we're co-creating in our brains and poke things with a stick.
Exactly.
It's one of the oldest human impulses.
One of my greatest joys is I'm playing D&D with 2 friends of mine, and they just got into playing very, very recently. So I'm getting to experience their joy of getting to play it for like basically the first time and getting to run around and try things. And they burned down the tavern at the poor end of town because they didn't think about it, how it was made of wood.
Party hard. Well,
you know, they were trying to use a fireball to distract some people so they could slip out. And they did do that. But you know, it's kind of funny because it goes from like, you think of it first as like you're playing a video game, right? Where it's like there's a certain level of permanence to the world and you are just a creature, a character that moves around within it and can do different things. But then the more you play, the more it does kind of like become real. And next thing you know, you've got your own little imaginary town that everyone has co-created together. And you love that town dearly and you don't want anything bad happening to it. And it actually will like physically upset you if things happen to it.
I still remember almost everything about the first D&D character I ever created, even though I haven't played D&D, I think, since before I went to grad school. And I love her so much. Yeah, I'm just like lost in thought, thinking about a little halfling bard with her little harp. Who has to stand on a stool in taverns to be seen or heard.
My first character was a little halfling rogue because my first exposure to playing like D&D was my dad getting us the boxed beginner set for 3.5 edition D&D, or maybe it's just 3, one of those two. And like, so it just had like a very generic character sheet. But then we started getting into all sorts of hijinks that were not in that character book. And we started our own thriving salami business. My dad didn't know what to do with that, but we all went along and we had a great time. And we quickly evolved beyond the box.
Did we note on the podcast that you play RPGs with your family, which is cute?
Oh, yeah.
That's cute.
It's really good time. My mom is not so much of a D&D or role-playing person, but... my dad and I play every Monday with my other friends in our friend group. And my younger sister and I don't frequently play together, but she does play with her own friend group and has a great time.
I didn't know your dad was part of Monday RPG.
Oh, yeah.
Because Monday RPG is a legend in the office, because when we say goodbye to Aaron at the end of the day on Mondays, we're all like, have fun at Monday RPG.
Exactly. Yes. No, this group has evolved. We started in 2020 with one group, and then when we all started going back to work after lockdown, someone exited the group, someone else joined, and then they were with us for a while, and then someone else had to leave for personal reasons, and then there was an empty spot in the group. It's like, oh, what do we do? And my dad had, the whole time I would tell my family about how the venture was going.
Was he like a little wet cat at the window?
Was exactly like that. The eyes, they're like, oh. And it's like, you know, we play online. It's okay that you live far away from me, Dad. And we live far away from everyone. Because that's the great thing is you can play this online.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't matter the distance or the fact that it's a Monday night. It's all good.
Yeah.
So we just go and it's all good. And yeah, now he gets to play with us. He jumped in. We were already level 15 in a campaign that we reached 20. So he was like, some campaigns end at level 15, Mary Graham. It was pretty high level stuff. So that was really funny for him.
But not when you play D&D.
But now we all get to play together in a whole new adventure. And I'm not actually DMing this current thing that we're doing.
You get a break.
I get a break. I get to be a little... we're playing Pathfinder 2 now, but I am playing a little poppet, so a little stuffed cat. And my stuffed cat has basically gone through raising and growing up 2 generations of kids to be adults and have their own families. And I decided it's time to go off on my own and have my own adventure and grow, because I want to become... someone who can create robots that'll be companions to other little children.
It's having a midlife adventure.
I'm having a midlife adventure with Sparkles, the robot dinosaur that I created.
See, where are you gonna get this? Like, this is the best thing I've ever heard. I'm so excited that I'm learning how to do this kind of storytelling so that we can continue and expand the great RPG I don't want to say empire, but like the great RPG Commonwealth here at the Ferndale Area District Library.
Oh, yes.
I should also mention that another program we're going to be running for teens in the fall is a one-shot escape room. And this is going to be like misinformation themed. It's going to be the sort of like there's going to be documents and what can you trust and who's lying to us and how do we get out of this dang room. And so I will be running that as well. So if you are a teenager who enjoys collaborative storytelling, come hang out with us this coming fall and just stick around forever. Libraries are for everyone. Forever and ever.
When you say misinformation escape room, that makes me think immediately of like a puzzle kind of situation in an RPG.
Yeah.
So this seems like there's so much like...
It's going to be so much crossover.
Mark
such a great appeal. Yeah.
I'm very excited for all of them.
And you know, it's going to be by October, November, it's going to be chilly, it's going to be dark. What are you going to want to do? You're going to want to come to the library where we have a nice little fireplace and lots of cozy books. And you can bring your own cozy covered drink as long as there's a lid on it. Yeah. And do fun, collaborative storytelling adventure times.
And then they can go visit my very rapidly but always expanding RPG collection.
Yeah. I will also say, if you are someone who's never done RPG before and you're a teen and you're interested in getting into it, this is a great low stakes kind of way to do it because we're only going to be running these teen RPG things quarterly. They're going to be one shot, you know, it's going to be a
very simple rules. Don't have to know anything ahead.
Simple character building. Exactly. And it's going to be very low. We're just going to be vibing. We're going to be vibing and having little adventures.
What I like most about these like little one-shot things is you go in, you don't know anyone else, probably at the table. You don't know the rules of the thing. And that's
leave
all
bonded for life.
Totally fine because next thing you know, like you learn the rules really fast. So it's more just thinking about like what you want to do and how you want to explore. You can have a lot of extra havoc since it is a one-shot. You don't have to think about consequences or the future. So you can just go have a crazy little romp. Choose chaos. Only time I'll ever say that, but choose chaos. And then, you know, you've left with a new group of friends that you have just met because you've all just gone into a haunted space station and survived the terrible, spooky, ghosty monsters inside in order to become the new kings of space pirates.
Or you have definitely convinced people that you are a human being in a trench coat and not 3 separate animals or possibly 1 single bear.
Yes, unless perhaps you go and expose yourself.
Well, what happens if that happens? You'll have to come to RPG.
Exactly.
DMs.
Yes.
Dungeon Masters.
Yes.
Are they always called DMs?
That's a great question.
Because it's not always dungeons.
Okay, so DM very specifically originally was for Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
That's Dungeon Master, right? Because Dungeons and Dragons was so prevalent, that became like kind of a bit of a default. The overall
like
general term, exactly like Kleenex. The overall general term is a GM or Game Master. But certain other systems prefer other terms. So like if you do Call of Cthulhu or a lot of mystery-based ones, the person running is usually called the Keeper in line with that. Because rather than about striving through adventure and winning, it's more about solving mysteries through horrors and surviving.
Sure.
So you are like the Keeper of Tomes, the Keeper of Secrets, or the Keeper of Knowledge, something like that.
You're a librarian.
Yes.
I like Game Master in part because dungeons sound awfully damp, and also I'm not going to be running D&D, but also because Game Master makes me think of Sam Reich on Dropout and Game Changer, and I've been here the whole time. So that's the kind of energy I'm excited to bring to this.
I think I've defaulted to saying DM a lot just because
people know what it means.
People know what it means, and also that's frequently what I am playing.
That's
but
true.
Also I do really like the open universality of a GM. Though sometimes people go and confuse that with general manager or car
General
company.
Motors.
Yeah,
because we are here in Detroit.
So that does happen. Jeff, you've played a little bit on the podcast.
Yeah, and I've tried to yes and I was told very distinctly that I am not the DM, and I got in trouble.
You were trying to do things outside of the realms of what your character's abilities
you can
were.
go too far.
But you know what? Middle schoolers do that too sometimes, and I tell them no, because you don't suddenly gain cosmic powers.
Sure.
Alas. If you were to play one, though.
If I ran things, that's how it would go.
If you were running things or playing things, what kind of setting would you do? And
Probably a dungeon.
what kind of story do you think you would want to like create? Would you do something very like combat heavy? Would you do something very much like explorative? Are you gonna do something more silly, goofy, serious? Like what kind of vibe would you have as like a GM?
A permissive one?
Oh no, that's the worst kind, Jeff. That's the kind where your whole world ends up burning down in ashes because you've given the powers too much to the players.
Well, yeah. I mean, as friends of mine have used the acronym, FAFA. FAFO.
Yeah.
You know, that's just I want my players.
Can I say it, Jeff, and you can bleep it?
Yeah.
Around to find out.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. And not that they're going to be messing with me and they're going to find out. I just want them to literally around and then find out
What, to their own detriment
Yeah.
or to some sort of great surprise?
Yeah, they're learning lessons.
Okay.
Oh, God.
You know, I don't completely disagree with this.
Great.
As a thing, because sometimes I give a lot of, like when I play, I give a lot of visual and toenail like warnings when they're about to do something real stupid.
Oh, sure.
But I'm not going to stop them from doing the stupid thing because that's not my role or my job.
Right.
So if you want to let go of that fireball in a very small enclosed space, sure.
Yes.
Go for it.
It sounds like when I
gonna
was
be great.
when I was growing up,
For
and
me.
I was of a certain age where my mom couldn't actually say, "Don't do that. I'm your mother, and I can tell you not to do that." But she was like, but she also still thought I shouldn't do it. She would say, "You might consider other option, like
Yes.
you might consider doing something else." And you know, there were definitely times throughout high school and college when I was like, "Yeah, I did consider that. I'm not doing that though. I'm doing the thing that I want to do." And she was like, "Okie doke."
Okie-dokie.
Like, yeah. So
Yeah, being a GM is a little bit like that at times, I
Yeah.
think, because you want them to have the agency, because you don't want to be a railroading DM, because that's bad. We don't want to railroad
Not fun.
things. But on the other hand, like, the goal of the GM is never to be an adversary to the players, so you don't want the party to all die together,
okay,
especially at other people's expense. Like if we were in a group, all three of us, and Jeff let off a fireball in a small room, that would be unfair to Mary Graham for Mary Graham to die
yeah,
because of that.
I'm in that room, Jeff.
Yeah. So
Use some OSHA safety standards here.
or maybe just some common sense on how physics work.
Sure.
But because OSHA safety standards don't exist in the fantasy world.
I want to do an RPG about fantasy OSHA, Aaron.
I mean, I do have OSHA as a god in one of my stories.
I remember
for a
this
reason,
now.
and he is great.
I have another leverage related question for you.
Yes,
Is that orange soda in your cup?
absolutely.
Age of the Geek, baby.
It's actually Diet Fago, which I didn't know existed until I found it, and it's been my joy ever since.
Huh.
It's also like a great representation of, because it's too late in the day for me to have a Mountain Dew, which is the traditional beverage of game players everywhere.
I see.
For both video game and tabletop. Since I can't have that much caffeine at this point, an orange soda is the second most, I think, iconic to my heart beverage to have in this moment.
Aaron really enjoys a good puzzle and puzzle solving.
I do.
Where is this going?
Mary Graham has theater energy.
Uh-huh.
RPG requires both.
Yes.
Here you are meeting in the middle, and I love it.
That's true. Oh, God. I thought there was a pun.
No.
Okay.
Just
That's why I was like, what are you doing?
So if it's interesting enough, I
could
don't
have said,
often
"What are you playing at?"
I don't throw a lot of puzzles, I don't think, or at least traditional puzzles as we think of them, into my stories that I make. Because
but you're a figurer outer.
Yes,
I do love a figure out.
That's the thing is you've run games that I've played that do involve figure out.
Figure out.
I do love figuring out because, and here's why, from a mechanical standpoint.
Yes.
If you have a traditional puzzle, like move these tiles around or solve a riddle type things, the characters could just roll an intelligence or a wisdom or something like that to figure it out without having to actually do anything as a player. So then there becomes a disconnect between either you force them to not roll for it, but then there's a disconnect between what their character would do or what the character knows and what the player knows and would do. Or you just circumvent a whole bunch of work in 2 seconds with a good roll.
Right.
If you have a figure it out, that keeps the character and the player aligned, because you want to keep in the moment and the energy of being our characters, right? That's the whole point of role playing, is to be role playing. And so it keeps us in the moment, and it also it's lets it be a group effort.
I have very
different
vivid
knowledge
memories
levels
of having to avoid booby-trapped floor tiles.
Good times.
With my coworkers. My memory is as though it was there. We were looking at a piece of paper, but in my brain, we're all like bracing each other and helping each other over not adjacent tile squares.
Oh, yes.
And we figured it out. Nobody blew up.
That was probably the most classic puzzle I would ever go, because it is a very classic trap in D&Ds or in others, like genre type things where don't step on certain tiles is like a thing, or certain ones are good and the floor is lava.
The floor is lava. Who doesn't love a good game of the floor is lava?
Who doesn't? But you have to use those sparingly, or it becomes frustrating and annoying for players, unless you're doing, if everyone consents, because consent is very important, to having a what we call a dungeon crawl. Basically, it's more the environment is trying to kill you at every turn. That is okay to have all those kinds of puzzles that want to kill you at every turn in every floor surface and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But normal gameplay, I don't like to throw too many of those in, because
Deception.
how often are you just walking to random places and they happen to be booby trapped? Not often. Sometimes.
I don't know, Aaron. We live in Michigan. There's a lot of potholes here.
Darn you, natural booby traps.
Yeah.
To me, it sounds like you're describing a more dangerous scenario of, is this cake?
Is it cake though?
I know.
Can I have cake?
I would like some.
It is lunchtime as we record this.
And I think that
I would make it mimic a cake, so it looks like a cake, and then you go to eat it and it eats you.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. Your little puzzles here that are out to get us.
But I wouldn't, to make it fair, I would go and put something around the cake to indicate it to a person paying attention.
Wow.
That it was a bad idea to try to eat the cake that wants to eat you.
I just heard the Joker's voice in my head saying, the thing about chaos is it's fair. You literally said fair.
It is fair in this case. In my controlled world
of chaos.
You have to have some controlled chaos here, because the players are chaotic. And so you can't have a perfect world, because they'll just smash it with a bat. But you can
I smash the cake that's not a cake with a bat?
Absolutely.
Yes. Sweet.
In fact, I would encourage that in this case, because then
so that it doesn't eat me.
It does damage to the mimic, and then you're not eaten by the mimic, and it shows your coworker who didn't even think about it and just went up to the cake to eat it. I really shouldn't eat that, because they ignored the fact that there was, blood on the ground surrounding the cake.
But what if the cake had icing on it that said, "Eat me, I'm a totally normal cake"?
I would do that.
You would say.
Wait, you would bake the cake with that for the trick, or you would eat the cake?
The mimic cake would definitely say, "Eat me, I'm super delicious."
Oh, gotcha.
Or if someone rolled an insight check, which is basically a roll that you would do to discern perceive the truth of this thing, and they did poorly, rather than saying, "Oh yeah, this is fine," I would say, you actually see on the cake that it's very specifically saying you should eat it. Because that's what bad rolls should get you when you do insight. It shouldn't just be a neutral to good thing. There should be bad consequences for bad rolls.
So now Jeff has tried to eat the cake, and I have to save him with a baseball bat.
Exactly. Because Jeff ignored the fact that there was clues all along saying, hey, don't eat it. Like the fact that the townspeople that all tried to eat this cake previously happened to mysteriously disappear. Jeff, why didn't you notice that?
I don't know, just having fun.
But yeah, those are the kinds of like traps, and I think that really are more effective for gameplay because there's storytelling elements to it, and there's fairness to it, and also danger.
If you too want the experience that we just had, none of this was discussed before we turned the mics on, and now I really want to do an adventure with like baked goods that are trying to kill you.
I can make that happen.
I know you
want to go to a bakery where everything is trying to kill you? I mean,
yes.
It's totally fine and not a mimic.
For a second, I thought that you were like, do you want to go to a bakery like as work research? And I was like, well, obviously.
What if we did a pod recording of a haunted bakery type thing at a bakery? Bakeries of Ferndale. If you're interested in this concept of coming together and giving me free baked goods, let me know for research purposes.
It's called community partnerships.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Well, thank you for this fun little introduction to the amazing RPG environment community that we already have here at Ferndale and that is expanding.
Indeed. Yes. And it's a quarterly thing for teens.
It's going to be a quarterly thing for teens. We're going to be starting it up in October.
First and third for middle grade. We're going to, in the fall, we're going to be starting up with our big campaign again. We are going to be Pokemon once more, going about doing kind of like a Pokemon mystery dungeon where the kids are the Pokemon, trying to solve mysteries, avoid crime. They're usually causing the crime.
I was going to say the avoiding crime, it doesn't last very long.
But sometimes they go and stop the library from blowing up from explosive people. So that's fine.
I appreciate that they did that. I also appreciate that back when you were playing Cats of Cthulhu, like we had Don Acorn hanging out in our office all the time. I got to know these characters very well. It was a delight.
It is a delight. So if you have a middle schooler or you are a middle schooler, come hang out with us at Middle Grade Tabletop. Or if you think anything of what we just said today has been interesting, come visit the YA 793.93 section of the nonfiction. I don't have that memorized because I spend a lot of time putting books in there or anything like that. Come over there or ask one of the librarians. We'll show you. We've got a whole bunch of different ones, including the ones we mentioned today. Come try them out. Come play them. Come read the rules. Come find me and talk to me about RPGs anytime you want to. If I'm around, I will talk to you about them for forever.
And if you have a teen or you are a teen, mark those calendars for October. Spooky Little One-Shot RPG.
Do you want to say anything more about the RPG that you do plan to play here live on the podcast? A little bit more.
Ooh.
But I believe we mentioned it, but do you want to just like prep people?
So, I will say for now, because I don't want to go and give away spoilers to one of our players. But we will be having 3 podders with me, each at different levels of skill in playing RPGs or experience playing RPGs, going and playing Monster of the Week. It's going to be summer camp. It's going to be spooky. It's going to give you Scooby-Doo, Buffy, Dresden Files, X-Files, all those kinds of vibes to it.
I have a tape recorder.
Mary Graham is going to be playing the Snoop because Monster of the Week has different like archetypes that you can play as. So we have a Snoop, a mundane, everyday person off the street. And we have a spell slinger, which is basically Harry Dresden from the Dresden Files. So it's going to be amazing. It's going to not be easy for them. You would think with the limited time we have, I would hold some punches with this. I am not.
No,
There's a great chance that the summer camp will get destroyed and all the kids are going to die. So, be careful.
Yeah, Favo.
It'll be fine.
I have to know what's in the no-go zone. I'm going to go there, Aaron.
Mary Grimm is going to go to the no-go zone and see what's there, despite what the camp counselors are going to say about that.
Oh, no, camp counselors are like the ultimate authority in my mind.
But I really want Mary Graham to go to the no-go zone.
I know.
Don't tell Mary Graham I said this.
I'm going to have to like override, though, because like in order of like people who you have to listen to it's your mom, and then above your mom, it's God, and then sometimes above God, it's camp counselors.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Except for, does this camp counselor have your best interest in heart? I don't know.
Has this camp been accredited by the American Camping Association?
Mary Graham, I'm going to say this, and just so you know, to tie it back to Murder Pod, corporations are evil.
Oh my God.
And they are in charge.
Well, everybody, tune in to hear us play.
Tune in for that. Thanks for hanging out and talking about RPG, you guys.
Always.
Thanks, Jeff.
Role-playing games.
Role-playing games at the library and on the pod.
Solving puzzles.
Good times.
Fucking around and finding out. Yeah. Oh, wait. Is there an exact date yet for the teen launch?
I just put a tentative date on the calendar.
Great.
So.
Okay. Fantastic.
So keep an eye
I
out for
don't
your
remember
flyers
what
and
it
on
is.
the website.
Yeah.
All of the different ways that you normally find out about our programming. Keep an eye out for the fall, and you should be able to see that on there when those mailers hit the houses.
Did we even mention that Aaron has RPG literally tonight?
I do have RPG today. And guess what we're playing? The Witch is Dead.
Perfect, which is probably what we're going to start with in October.
That's what the kids
Amazing.
requested.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
it's going to be a good time.
I like witches, though. I don't want them to be dead.
The witch is
her
already dead.
familiars are
Okay.
taking revenge.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
All
great.
of the kids
Yeah.
are going to be familiars getting revenge on the witch hunter and the town. And
Okay.
it's going to be great.
I love that.
There probably is not going to be another crazy corn/clown cult this time.
Don't put it past those kids.
I mean, we did that last time. So there's going to be...
They'll think of something else.
There'll be a new angle.
Yeah.
Don't you worry.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to result in some shenanigans.
I love shenanigans.
Me too.
Appreciate you guys. Appreciate everyone at home listening to another episode of A Little Too Quiet. It's the Ferndale Library Podcast, brought to you by the Friends of the Ferndale Library. Remember to go to ferndalefriends.org to find out more information about supporting this podcast. Of course, thank you to John Duffy for giving us music to open and close each episode. We appreciate you out there. Make sure to
Rate, review, and subscribe.
Thank you, Mary Graham. And what will we do, Aaron? Will we see them next week?
You know, I think next week we will see them for a spooky camp. Ooh.
Stay tuned for that. Thanks for listening.